This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to the February monthly partnership meeting of the Southeast and Caribbean Disaster Resilience Partnership. Good morning, my name is Heather McCarthy and I am honored to serve as the Executive Director of SCDRP. I'm speaking to you today from Jacksonville, Florida. So it makes me so happy to see folks that I met in person in Miami at our SCDRP 2023 annual meeting. It is so nice to see you again and welcome new faces. During last month, we experienced the biggest membership spike in SCDRP history. So a very special welcome to our new partners. Today, I will introduce our new advisory board members, give you a little bit of a summary of our annual meeting in Miami, show some photos, hit some of the highlights, and then also I want to tell you about how SCDRP is beginning to compile project sketches to advance regional disaster resilience. These are projects and partnerships that are going to be at the ready when funding opportunities arise. And these project sketches consist of an abstract, potential partners, timelines, and just kind of a ballpark budget. A good portion of today's meeting will be partner sharing, so please prepare to share your regional updates, newsletters, important announcements, any calls for proposals and funding opportunities, job opportunities in resilience-related fields. And I've heard about a few, so I'm hoping that you turn on your cameras and share those today. Any other meetings, webinars, online events, important policy or legislation updates that partners need to hear about, and any calls for input from members on tools and products. And then finally, a brief review of member opportunities, including committees and upcoming monthly partnership meetings. So our SCDRP advisory board has grown. And with the formalization of the new SCDRP advisory board policies and procedures last year, we added 6 new seats to our advisory board. And we sought nominations last fall for these open seats and conducted our very first election for advisory board members this winter. Our new members were announced at the SCDRP 2023 annual meeting in Miami on January 25th. A warm congratulations and expression of gratitude to the following professionals for volunteering their time to serve as leaders of SCDRP. Amanda Guthrie, South Carolina Sea Grant; Kait Morano, Georgia Tech; Jeremy Stalker, Jacksonville University; Hilary Lohman, U.S. Virgin Islands Division of Coastal Management; Ashley Ward, Duke University Nicholas Institute for Energy, Environment, and Sustainability; and Randall Mathews, Chatham Emergency Management Agency. And now for our new members, we'll tell you a little bit about themselves. Hilary, are you here? Hilary was in and out. She had a number of public meetings this week. Maybe she's not in. She thought she might be able to pop in. That's okay. Here's a photo of Hilary. You probably met her in Miami if you were there. She's sitting in the U.S. Virgin Islands seat on the advisory board for us. Hilary Lohman has worked in small island resilience around the Caribbean for almost 10 years, including work in the Dominican Republic, Barbados, Belize, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. She studied animal behavior and Spanish at Bucknell University, received a master's in marine affairs from the University of Rhode Island, and completed a Fulbright scholarship with the University of the West Indies. Hilary's been working in the U.S. Virgin Islands since 2016 and has been the Coastal Resilience Coordinator since 2019. With a background in natural and social sciences and a unique position in the territory, Hilary works on a diverse set of projects that improve the planning, mitigation, and adaptation to changes that face the natural and built environment, communities, and systems of the U.S. Virgin Islands. We welcome Hilary Lohman. Next, representing the state of South Carolina is Amanda Guthrie. Amanda, are you here today? She had a number of travel engagements this week as well. Amanda Guthrie is the Coastal Climate and Resilience Specialist at the South Carolina Sea Grant Consortium. She provides science-based guidance to help communities address current and future resilience priorities while taking into consideration community interest and values. Amanda engages with municipalities and community leaders about their vulnerability and resilience concerns. Amanda earned a BS in Marine Science and Biology from the University of Miami, an MS in Fisheries Management from Michigan State University, and a PhD in Coastal Resources Ecology and Management from the William and Mary Virginia Institute of Marine Science. So prior to joining South Carolina Sea Grant Consortium, Amanda had fellowships with the National Academy of Sciences Gulf Research Program, where she researched the intersection of community health and green infrastructure, and with the National Socio-Environmental Synthesis Center, where she led a team of researchers evaluating the social and ecological feasibility of offshore aquaculture for the Gulf Coast of Florida. We welcome Amanda. Representing the state of Georgia is Kait Morano. Kait, I believe Kait is not going to be able to make it today. She's at a workshop. Um, Kait is a research scientist at the Institute for People and Technology, or IPAT, at Georgia Tech. Her interests include urban planning, climate change, and spatial analysis, and her work focuses on designing innovative, equitable strategies to build community resilience. At IPAT, she serves as the Resilience Planning Director of the Coastal Equity and Resilience Hub. Kait holds a bachelor's in geography from Virginia Tech and a master's of city and regional planning from Georgia Tech, where she specializes in geographic information systems. Prior to joining Georgia Tech, Kait worked as a senior urban planner for a local government on the Georgia coast and as a research assistant at the Center for Spatial Planning, Analytics, and Visualization at Georgia Tech, and as an ORISE Fellow at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. So we welcome Kait. As you can see, we have some phenomenal advisory board members, and we're very, very fortunate. Next up is Ashley Ward. I believe I saw you, Ashley. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thanks, Heather. So I'm Ashley Ward. I'm a senior policy associate at the Nicholas Institute here at Duke. My background, I have a PhD in geography and medical geography, disease ecology. So I've been studying the sort of the human environment interaction on health outcomes for a long time. I started this journey with the NOAA RISA team in the Carolinas and was their climate health lead. Did quite a bit of work on heat and heat related illness, but also all other kinds of health impacts from extreme climate events. And that was, through a lot of, I consider myself a practitioner in that space and did a lot of on the ground community engagement in that work. I was then recruited to the Nicholas Institute, where I kind of work on the other end of that sort of policy spectrum, outside of policy implementation originally, but now to more policy innovation and development. And so it's been a really interesting journey for me to see both ends of that spectrum. What makes good policy, basically. And I actually think we need more practitioners making and informing policy. So my big thing right now at Duke is really thinking about how we combine scientific research, and engagement to innovate on policy and create effective, sustainable policies. Um, that's what I do.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ashley, and thank you for volunteering your time, expertise, and experience to our organization. Next up, representing the local government seat, one of the local government seats is Randall Mathews. Hi, Randall. Would you like to spend a few minutes telling us about yourself?
Sure thing. Thank you. So my name is Randall Mathews. I'm the Assistant Director for Chatham Emergency Management Agency. That's located in Savannah, Georgia. I've been a member of SCDRP for a number of years. I can't actually remember when I first started, somewhere around 2016, 17-ish, around there. So I see a lot of familiar faces. Unfortunately, I was not able to make the trip to Miami for this year's annual meeting, but I do recognize several individuals that were there at the meeting that was held in Jacksonville in the pre-COVID times. So it's good to see a lot of familiar faces again. I've been working in the emergency management field for over 15 years now. I've been at Chatham Emergency Management Agency for 9 years, just about. So a lot of experience in local government, been through several presidentially declared disasters, really learned a lot throughout those processes. Over the last 5 years or so, I've really been looking at that intersection of emergency management and climate change, and looking at the more how those traditional roles of emergency management are kind of evolving over time. So I've been working a lot on sea level rise, working with a lot of folks, to kind of document how the local regions being impacted, encouraging smarter development and infrastructure sustainability, that sort of thing. So it's been really fun to kind of lead some of those changes. I was able to advocate for the creation of a resilience department within local government. So just about a year ago, we created our very first resilience department for the county. So it's cool to be part of those, evolutions of things, and I look forward to working with you all in the future.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Randall, and your emergency management perspective is going to be integral on our advisory board. We appreciate you joining us. Next up in the state of Florida seat is Jeremy Stalker. Jeremy, are you on today? Okay. Dr. Stalker earned a BS in geological science at Michigan State University, an MS in geophysics at the University of Montana, and a PhD at Florida International University in geochemistry. He has taken a path of academics and professional work in his career. Besides his academic degrees, he has worked as a hydrologist for the United States Geological Survey, as a geophysical consultant in southeastern Alaska, and as a private hydrologic consultant. Dr. Stalker's primary research interests are hydrologic processes at the terrestrial ocean margins, including issues of water scarcity, forensics, sea level rise, and climate impacts. Dr. Stalker's focus in geochemistry is the application of stable isotopes and ionic constituents and tracers in hydrologic systems. These tracers occur in unique concentrations and ratios in water from different sources, and when applied, they can answer numerous questions about timing and spatial importance of each source. Dr. Stalker also applies geophysical instruments and physical data to build water models to study the impacts of both natural climate change, but also anthropogenic project impacts. And we welcome Jeremy Stalker to our board. I see a few other advisory board members, and I would like you to just pop on and say hello. Jim, how about you?
Unmute. There we are. Hi, guys. Introduction, Jim Murley, Chief Resilience Officer for Miami-Dade County.
Fantastic.
You want more?
Jim serves, he is the chief, yes, he serves in the local government seat, one of the local government seats on our advisory board. And he and his staff were integral in helping us organize the meeting in Miami. Lindy, I see you. You're up next.
Certainly, and I think Jim could probably talk for about a half an hour about all the experience he brings to our board. My name is Lindy Betzold. I am with the NOAA Office for Coastal Management, and I serve as the chair of the advisory board. I work directly with coastal management state agencies in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, as well as help to run the National Coastal Resilience Fund competition that is executed through NICWIP, and work regionally in resilience and recovery through the SCDRP. So I'll be sharing in our update section a little bit more information about NCRF. And well, while I have the mic, I might as well just say that funding opportunity is open, usually opens in March, but it is actually open in February this year to allow for a little bit more time for development of those pre-proposals. So I'm excited to have that funding competition moving forward already, and hoping we have some strong applications from the Southeastern Caribbean for the focus of that grant opportunity is natural and nature-based restoration activities that directly contribute to hazard mitigation for communities and infrastructure and cultural resources. So exciting to have that going as well. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lindy. And Lindy serves as the chair of our advisory board. So I get to meet with her every week and a pleasure to work with. Rick DeVoe, I see you. Would you like to come on camera and introduce yourself?
I'm not going to come on camera. You don't want to see me, but I'm Rick DeVoe. I'm actually not recently retired. I retired 2 years ago as director of the South Carolina Sea Grant Consortium in Charleston, South Carolina. I've taken on a faculty affiliate position with the College of Charleston in Charleston, and working with a number of wonderful faculty and students on hazard and resilience issues. I have been affiliated with the partnership, I think, more or less from the beginning of it. And I am the current chair of its governance committee. So working on organizational, operational processes and procedures to make sure that how we do business is reflects the professionalism that we all want to convey to people that we work with and assist. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rick. Thank you. And Gino, I see you. Would you like to come on and say hello?
Sure. Thank you, Heather. Good morning, everyone. Gino Olmi. I am coordinator for NOAA's Southeastern Caribbean Regional Collaboration Team, which is an effort to get the parts of NOAA to work together better, and along with our partners, such as Sea Grant and cooperative institutes and coastal programs and things like that. We helped start up the Southeastern Caribbean Climate Community of Practice a while ago, which has merged in with the predecessor to SCDRP. And so happy to be here. And the resilience piece is kind of part of my portfolio. I try to work on kind of everything that NOAA does in the region. So I'm spread very thin and not very deep on anything, but enjoy working on the resilience aspect, as clearly it's a big issue for us in the Southeastern Caribbean region. So thank you, Heather.
Thank you, Gino. Thank you. And Hilary, I saw you pop on. Hilary, our new advisory board member from the Virgin Islands. Are you able to come on camera and say hello?
Hi, good morning. It's morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm Hilary Lohman. I'm the Coastal Resilience Coordinator with the Department of Planning and Natural Resources, Division of Coastal Zone Management at the government of the U.S. Virgin Islands. I live in St. Croix. I have a territory-wide position and travel a lot for work, which is pretty great. I have been involved with this group since I started this job in 2019. I have a pretty cool position. My position was also created in 2019. I think I do a lot of some of the most liaising from my department with hazard mitigation. Our VITEMA is the VI Territorial Emergency Management Agency. Since the 2017 hurricanes in particular, we've been doing a lot together to manage FEMA awards, to study watersheds and propose drainage improvements at scale. Not only do we suffer storms as a hazard here, but a lot of drought and flooding. And so drainage improvements are a really great way to target. Drainage improvements can be channelization as well as water storage. And for small islands that suffers drought and have no rivers, drainage, I think, is a really great focusing point to improve resilience for people and their experience of daily life here from storms, flooding, and drought alike. So that's a lot of the work I do. Again, watershed work, drainage work, and then also planning and implications of shoreline change and ecosystem services change due to both climate change and, development pressures and other anthropogenic stressors. Again, in a small place, we have a finite amount of functioning ecosystem services. So we do a lot to protect wetlands as we can and manage the coastal zone to balance development and protection. And we also incorporate social vulnerability into our work. We did a social vulnerability index, and we're working as much as we can to incorporate that in the design of projects and or the reporting of projects, all of the above. So that's a little bit about what I do.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much, Hilary. And Hilary is the first to sit in the U.S. Virgin Islands seat on our advisory board. That is a new seat that we have created. And now I'm going to move on to a little bit of a recap of our annual meeting in Miami. We are emerging, renewed, and reconnected. And a big thank you to all that attended. Here's a short recap for those of you that couldn't make it. The theme of our 2023 annual meeting was responding to the urgency, working together to build effective and inclusive resilience. So all sessions incorporated this theme by asking speakers and panelists to address how we can better build effective resilience in our communities through innovative partnerships, inclusive, equitable, community-based solutions, and taking action with immediacy and urgency. And we saw new partnerships and joint projects being developed between attendees in Miami. A special thanks to our annual meeting gold, silver, bronze sponsors. Because of these sponsors, we were able to sponsor 10 undergrad and graduate students to attend our annual meeting. Kamisha here is one of them. Maybe there's another. Our 10 scholarship recipients were awesome and amazing, and they volunteered tirelessly at the registration desk and as microphone runners throughout the meeting. And as you can see, we had 2 full days of sessions discussing relevant and timely topics. And these sponsorships also provided invitational travel funds to help us bring in some really high-level speakers and panelists this year. Our 2023 annual meeting in Miami was the largest attendance in SCDRP history. We had 120 registrants. Because we had a number of VIPs attending and elected officials too, we also had a number of aides, assistants, photographers, and reporters that were present during some of the sessions. And we clearly overflowed the 140 chairs that were set out. In addition to political dignitaries and United Nations representatives, we had a wide diversity of professionals representing public, private, nonprofit, and academic sectors. Attendees came to Miami from all over the United States and Caribbean. The vast majority were from our region, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. Some traveled from states as far north and west. And this year, we made special efforts to exchange experiences and knowledge with the U.S. territories and nations of the wider Caribbean. We welcomed guests from Bahamas, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, Jamaica, Belize, and Barbados. A special thank you to the attendees that filled out the exit survey. We received incredibly valuable feedback that we will use during the planning process of our next annual meeting. And we got some very positive feedback from many, and we really appreciate hearing your thoughts and perceptions. And here are some of the comments that we heard from you. In addition to productive peer-to-peer knowledge exchange, we had some fun too. We met up at Waterfront Restaurant for casual socializing. We ate Cuban empanadas and drank café con leches, and we enjoyed a wonderful evening reception sponsored by the Beacon Council and organized by Miami-Dade County's Mayor's Office and the Office of Resilience. So this was our first in-person meeting in 3 years, and you really could feel the excitement. We all thoroughly enjoyed getting to know each other and, just spending time discussing our roles and our goals. Did you miss the annual meeting? No worries. Our trusty program coordinator, Josephine Justin, is bringing Miami to you. So each of our 9 sessions were professionally recorded, and we are making those available on our YouTube channel. Please follow the link here. I really recommend listening to Assistant Secretary General Silwyn Hart's keynote address. It was fantastic and inspirational. We also have a website set up just to share photos with you. We were fortunate to have the official photographer of the mayor's office on hand, and he took some really fantastic professional photos. So please check them out at this web address. I mentioned before, SCDRP is beginning to compile project sketches, and we just want to build on that momentum we started in Miami with this new initiative, because we all know funding opportunities and proposal deadlines really pop up quickly. So let's go ahead and map out potential collaborations and compile a collection of preliminary and potential projects now. So do you have a project idea to advance regional resilience? Do you need collaborators? Do you need help finding funding sources? Please submit your project sketches on the Google form. You can scan this QR code or find the link in our latest newsletter. So SCDRP is here to connect partners with projects and funding opportunities. Today, we want to make sure we have plenty of time to hear from you. So this is our partner sharing time. Please raise your virtual hand or your physical hand if you got your camera on. Turn on your camera, turn on your microphone, and share with us. Alternatively, you can post your announcement in the chat box. If you're new to this GoToMeet software, the chat box can be obtained by clicking on the 3 bars in the upper right-hand corner. And I will download the chat box following the meeting. Okay, I see a raised hand. First up, Vamsi, would you like to turn on your camera and speak?
Yes, I've just turned my camera on. I don't know if you guys can see me because I can't see myself.
No, that's okay.
Oh, okay. It's not letting me turn my camera on. Okay, I guess it doesn't matter. First of all, Heather, thank you for putting all this together. I made it to Miami last month, but unfortunately, I was not able to participate in the conference on account of a personal family emergency. But yeah, I would have loved to be there. I just wanted to make an announcement regarding a special collection of scientific papers that we are running in the ASE Journal of Environmental Engineering. It deals with climate change and socio-environmental aspects of water quality. So if folks are interested in, so a little bit of background, this is part of the Environmental and Water Resources Institute of the American Society of Civil Engineers. This is a think tank, if you will, of academia, industry experts, and policymakers thinking about where water quality management in the United States is going over the next, several decades. So if you would like to participate in that special collection, I'll put a link for the flyer out in the chat, and you can contact me for additional details. And yeah, I look forward to collaborations with everyone in this group.
Fantastic. Yes, please put more information in the chat, Vamsi, and I'm glad I got to meet you briefly in Miami before you had to leave.
Yes, that was the
Next.
silver lining of my trip, Heather.
Ah, good. Yeah, we'll meet again, I'm sure. Randall, you're up next.
Thank you. Just a couple of brief announcements. We are hosting a hurricane conference on April 11th. It'll be in Savannah, Georgia. So if you're close by and want to pop down for a good one-day workshop on a lot of different issues that are in emergency management and resilience, that will be on April 11th. I'll post a link to that in the chat in case you're interested. Then also wanted to share that we will have 2 positions opening up here in the emergency management office. One is going to be an administrative role, and then the other one's going to be for an emergency management specialist. Those jobs have not posted yet, but they will be coming forth in the next week or two, so be on the lookout for that.
Well, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Randall. And I think, Lindy, you're up next.
Great, thank you, Heather. In addition to my earlier announcement of the National Coastal Resilience Fund competition being open through NIFWF, that link is in the chat box. I also wanted to highlight this, my cut and paste are not working, this effort by the Native American Fish and Wildlife Society to provide a webinar series that goes through each and every piece of the National Coastal Resilience Fund categories, eligibility, and just really helps applicants understand the ins and outs of the funding opportunity. This is a webinar. I believe the webinars are open to everyone, but the recordings are only available to members of Native American Fish and Wildlife Society. So I wanted to mention that, and I also wanted to mention, for those of you in North Carolina, wanted to mention this funding forum. This North Carolina Funding Forum is being put on by the Office of Resilience in North Carolina, as well as the Division of Coastal Management in North Carolina. Both of those state agencies have been working hard to increase the resilience of North Carolina, both coast and the upland areas. And this is focusing on addressing the obstacle of funding as a barrier to resilience project implementation. So it will be, there will be presentations on grant processing, grant writing, as well as presentations by those folks who are promoting funding opportunities. And the remainder of the afternoon will be breakout groups where you can sit down with those funders and ask questions. Yes, I see Ashley in the chat that the registrations are closed. So I know that they just sent out a message to all registrants asking that if your plans have changed and you can no longer make it, please let folks know so that they can open up the space. And I believe there is a waiting list, Ashley. So if you can get in touch with them, if there's not a contact on the website, I'm happy to follow up with you with Krista Early's information, if that's something you're interested in. Great, and then thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lindy. As you can see, those funding forums are incredibly important and serve the communities. And there was one, Lindy helped put together one in Georgia and now one in North Carolina. And I'll bet there will be more in our future. George Bonner, I think you're up next.
Thanks. Hey, good morning. George Bonner at the Coastal Studies Institute in North Carolina. We're working with NREL and Department of Energy on a program that's focused on building energy resilience for islands and remote communities. And this is the third year we've been part of this program. We're the regional partner for the Southeast. So applications are open now for this program, and it provides free technical assistance to the community. There's a webinar coming up on the 16th of April, and I put a link how you can register for the webinar. But if anybody has any questions about the program or interest, please reach out to me. My email is in the link as well in the chat. Thanks.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks, George. Anyone else have an announcement or opportunity to share? I see a hand raised from Patty. You're up next.
Hi. Yeah, I don't have admittedly as what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say deep, as robust an update as the people that I'm following, but I'll put the link for this in the chat. But I did want to add on ISD's website we do have a directory of resources categorized by different kinds of disasters, but also aspects like climate change, cybersecurity, anything like that. So and that directory is always open for anyone who'd like to submit something. So that's really my update. Is I'll put our directory in the chat, and anyone is open at any time to email. I'll put my email in the chat as well. To email me with a submission, and I'll get back to you and see if there's a place that it fits, or if there's a different place or different kind of resource that might fit a little bit better. But yeah, that's it. Thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you, Patty. I appreciate that. Next up is Carlos.
Hello, thank you. My name is Carlos Ignatius. I'm the Director of Engineering and Technology at Miami-Dade College. And I want to share with you that beginning on March 29th, all Wednesdays from 5 o'clock in the afternoon till 7 o'clock at night, we will be launching several courses until from March to November, free online courses in which anyone can enroll, that are going to include the first part is going to be GIS. Second part is going to be Open GIS. Third part is going to be From Drone to Map. And the fourth part is going to be flooding simulation and analysis. So this is going to be courses that we're going to launch for free. Anyone can join us, even from outside the US. And well, that's the announcement I wanted to make. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that update, Carlos. I see another hand up. Let's see. But I can't see who it is. Pat, is it you?
I think so.
Okay.
Anyways, I just would like to introduce the group to the National Pediatric Disaster Coalition. We are a completely volunteer nonprofit with probably incredible connections to the pediatric community, both academic and emergency management. We offer basically information sharing. So we are connected with the Pediatric Disaster Centers of Excellence, the Pediatric Pandemic Network, and are considered a trusted source by a number of very important partners. And we have a kind of like a who's who of executive committee membership that has been with us since 2015. We've created some resources for families with children with disabilities that are multi-language, including Haitian Creole, and that may be of interest to the group. And I'd love to provide that information if there's a way to get that sent to you in some way, shape, or form, so it could be distributed and more widely shared.
Okay, fantastic. So in general, folks, we have a general email address, scdrp@socorra, that's SECOORA.org, and that goes to all of us. So please feel free to use that at any time to send us announcements. And if we miss something or something pops up next week, please email it to us and we will include it in our next newsletter. Patty, I see your hand up. Do you have an announcement? This is Patty Pellingon.
Oh, I'm sorry. The platform is new to me. I just forgot to put my hand down.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
But
I just want to make
thank you for noticing. I appreciate it.
Of course. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss you. Vamsi, did you raise your hand again?
Yes, I did, Heather. I should have mentioned this last time, but there's another announcement as well that I would like to make. So the upcoming workshop, the upcoming Environmental Water Resources Institute Watershed Congress of the ASC is happening in Henderson, Nevada in May, and we're conducting a couple of workshops in that Congress. One is about use of remote sensing in water quality management. And it's not anything free, unfortunately, like Carlos's program, which sounds super exciting. But you will have to register for the conference, and if you do, you'll get access to it. For those of you who are professional engineers or who have professional engineers in their circle, it also counts towards professional development hours. Similarly, we are hosting another workshop, which is about watershed management in a changing world that includes the impacts of climate change and other policy changes that are ongoing. So that is those two workshops are being conducted by the American Society of Civil Engineers. It's a fantastic opportunity to connect with people outside our traditional circles. For example, last year we had a strong showing of about 30 people when we did the remote sensing workshop, and they varied widely from various backgrounds. We had civil engineers, environmental engineers, water quality experts, startups. We even had a person from the CDC. So it's just an exciting way to connect with people and learn something about these fields. So if you're interested, please check out the conference website and links which I have provided in the chat. And this also ties in back to the Journal of Environmental Engineering special collection, which I had mentioned to you about. And contact me
Fantastic.
for details.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Bomsey. I'm seeing a flowing chat box here and a request for us to compile the links that are being posted here so that you don't have to scramble to cut and paste them. So we will do that. Josephine and I will pull together, we'll download the chat box, and we will compile all of these resources and send them out in the next edition of our newsletter. Francisco, I see your hand is up.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Francisco Munoz. I'm with Food for the Poor. I'm in the disaster preparedness and response team that we recently started up about 1.5 years. Food for the Poor has been together for about 40 years. They focus in Latin America and the Caribbean, focusing on development and bringing relief, but now we're focusing on a proactive approach. So we're always trying to learn new processes and ways that we can assist our in-country partners. We've also extended our domestic footprint. We're now Florida VOAD members. So we're just constantly trying to figure out how best can we reach our resources out to those in need. So I appreciate you and thank you for letting us be here.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. Important work that you do. All right. In the interest of time, I think I will wrap up partner sharing for today. However, if we didn't get to you or you have more to share or more comes up next week, please use the email address, the scdrp@socorro.org, to send those resources to us, and we will make sure to include them in our next newsletter. And thank you to all who shared today. Appreciate that. I want to highlight in our final minutes 2 important member opportunities: the SCDRP committees and the upcoming virtual partnership meetings. So we formally adopted a set of policies and procedures recently, and we outlined the roles and responsibilities of these SCDRP committees. And these are really where a lot of work gets done throughout the year, and it's where relationships with other partners are really forged. 4 of these committees are open to members in good standing. So what is a member in good standing? These are the members that have up-to-date dues paid, and we charge $100 per individual annually. We try to keep our dues very low. If you're not sure whether your dues are up to date, please reach out and ask me at heather@socorro.org, and I'll look into it and double check. So briefly, we have the governance committee is open to members in good standing. The governance committee is responsible for further developing rules, policies, procedures, elections. The partnership committee connects SCDRP to other organizations, develops joint efforts and initiatives between partners, and helps identify our monthly speakers. The Development Committee solicits and generates financial resources to sustain SCDRP. And then we have also arranged for ad hoc committees. These are the committees that arise as needed. They include our annual meeting steering committee, which just wrapped up with our Miami meeting. Next year, we will add a nominations committee for our next advisory board election. So please let us know if you are interested in joining any of these committees. They're now open to new members. So after the SCDRP 2023 annual meeting in Miami, about 35 professionals that work in disaster resilience and emergency management fields gathered. Were convened by Duke University Nicholas Institute for Energy, Environment, and Sustainability to discuss challenges that we face and kind of tease out potential solutions together. So next month, we will be hearing the conclusions and recommendations that emerged from that unique convening. And that was Ashley Ward from Duke, who's with us today. So during our next virtual monthly partnership meeting on March 23rd from 10 to 11, Ashley and her grad student, Jessica Sheldon, will present the findings of the Miami Roundtable. And remember, we always meet on the fourth Thursday of each month. We look forward to seeing each of you again on March 23rd. This concludes our February monthly partnership meeting. Thank you for joining us today and for your continued contributions to the Southeast and Caribbean Disaster Resilience Partnership. So keep up the important work that you do, submit your project sketches, and keep a lookout for our next newsletter with additional updates and resources. Thanks again, and have a great day.